There we go. All right, let's do this. Install update. Install and relaunch. Close that. All right. So we were having problems yesterday at the end of stream getting my network request to work to Splitwise. Right? And we should see this if I run main. It's caused right here. Which is interesting. Because if I come over here, this should be the same network request with the same API key. What up, Boppy? Let's see here. So I guess we could go and do like the simplest thing possible, right? Which would be like, we come back over here and we do this, and we do a yield star, do this, splitwise dot get expense by ID, and we'll pass it an ID, which we'll just use the same one that we know is working over here. If we run that, right. So that's working. All right. So that tells me that we are making a bad request. I wonder if we get here. All right, so we got there. It's interesting that we got this added to group. Do we filter out by that point? So that's what's happening. We're passing a group added ID. That's annoying. This is gonna work now. Watch this, chat. I didn't properly filter. Our code was right yesterday. Damn it. Damn it. Oh my gosh. Alright, so that's just void. All right, check this out. That's going to have made a transaction. Man, we were that close to it working again, or working yesterday. We just fat fingered. We should see, yep, look at that. Look at that, there it is. We just synced these two transactions from over here. The problem was I had a bad OR statement. Where is it at? Right here. I had right there. This was the logic. So it was being true for every notification type, and a notification for getting added to a group got filtered through, and then I was making a network request to try and retrieve an expense by ID, but I was passing a group ID instead of expense ID, and that's what the failure was. The error message was just bad from Splitwise. So check this out, like, we can watch this happen in real time, right? So we have these two Splitwise transactions. I'll come over here and I'll delete these, reject those. And so we basically want to sync these from here over to here with the portion that I paid, right? So if we look, clear this, let's show this because this should have please do it. I believe. I believe. Is it gonna make me refresh? I thought this had WebSockets or polling. Well, either way, they're here. Oh, we need to give this a payee. All right, so that's working. Reject. All right, good start. What up, Cyprian? I want to go look at the logic that we were using before to do splits and stuff. Paid share minus owed share. That's basically, that's the right math, right? That's what we're doing. Paid share versus owed share. Is that right? I'm like losing track of my credits and debits in my head right now. Does that make sense? That obviously makes sense because this is how I was doing it before. Oh, excuse me. I guess that does make sense. Like, let's consider the use case that I'm unders and it's logging to my budget. I'm owed $96. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That is what we want. We want the net balance. We should make another function. This will be dollars to milliunits. Is it MILI? POSIT? PROSIT? API, YNAB, API. Where's the transactions? Where is it the thing they talk about milliunits? No, they don't talk about it. Milliunits. And then we want a dollars to milliunits. How do they case that? This will take an amount, number, and then we have to do, basically just do this, right? What did I just do? Oh, didn't close that. There we go. All right. So let's run this one more time and make sure that worked. We'll open up our budget. We want to sync two transactions. We do bun run main. Boom, boom. They should be in here now. There they go. Yeah. So right now, this is saying that in total, unders owes me $88. Right? And I think if we came back over here, yeah, owes $88, gets back $88. Okay. So our quick math is mathing. Just in general, you just owe me 88. You owe me $88 for me paying our gas bill and beers at the Prancing Pony. All right. All right. What is the next thing we want to do? We probably want to start cleaning this up because we know it works now, right? And I want this to run basically for both Justine and I. So it needs to run for two different users. So we probably need to go make another Dynamo entity. So let's go to Electro and let's come in here and say we have a user, budget, sync, user. In fact, that's probably overkill to start. What do we need it to do? We just needed to... We can drive this with environment variables possibly up front. How do we want to do this? We need more information, right? I need more information to process an expense. What is the information I need? Sync. I don't even know what you would call this. Sync input for now. Keep it easy. We have this type. And things I need to know is I need to know the splitwise group ID that we're going to be operating in. I need to know the YNAB budget ID. That's a string. I need to know the Splitwise user ID that we're operating on behalf of. I need to know the account that we should be posting transactions to. I need to know Dude, what do we set as the payee in the old script? We might need to... Then I need the expense. Not necessarily. We'll put that there. Come over here. And we look at the old client. Descriptor, splitwise expense date, expense ID, group ID, sync date, budget ID, transaction ID. I've opened so many tickets for you today, you're gonna hate coming to work. F. I wrote 0 lines of code yesterday because I was dealing with everything. New expenses.map. So we get these new expenses, we map over them, we create YNAB transactions, and then we all right, here we go. This .payee name. Okay, that makes sense. We can get the payee will be the other user. What else do we have on this? Uncategorized category ID. How do we use that? We give it a category. And what category ID is that? We make our sync client. Where do we do this? Oh, I don't even have that anymore. I have no idea what I was using here. I might be able to SSH into my Raspberry Pi and find it. That's not right. Oh, we got in, chat. We got into the... We're SSH'd in. ls-la. Where am I at? Cat cron tab. Is this thing still going? Bro, is this still running? This can't still be running, right? Cat YNAB sync log. Oh, Jesus. Alright, right. I'm assuming, yeah, the last time this ran on the Pi was last May. Because I moved it. Oh yeah, I moved it to run manually. Yeah. I want echo this. Go into YNAB. Is there a environment variables .m? Right, I'm gonna blur my screen again. I forget which Raspberry Pi I have. Like yeah, I don't remember the model. All right, we got our uncategorized ID. And so we have that now. All right, I will unblur. I already got off the server. Next time I remote in, I'll look. All right, let's look what this category is. We can do get category by ID, single category. Come in here, add our API key, and our param is going to be that, and then here we'll get budget ID. Send that out. Resource not found. ID is 404.2. Interesting. I must have deleted the category. Oh, this budget ID is not the right budget ID. This is the budget ID we want. Because I'm hitting the test budget right now. So it would make sense that that doesn't exist. There we go. Name is uncategorized. All right, what happens if we give it that category ID? What does it actually do here? So let's go back to our sync script and test this. We'll come here and this should have a category ID. We'll paste that in. Do that. Are we synced right now? I'm gonna delete the transactions if we are. Yeah, we are. So let's reject these. And if we run our script, Okay. It just uses that. So it must use that by default. So I don't even need to pass that. Okay, great. Yep. I did not take my allergy meds this morning. All right, so we can skip category ID. We'll just comment that out for now. Oh wait, that is actually, hold on. Hodl. We want list categories. And here, I realized we did the wrong thing. I gotta get now because I want it all. That's not the budget ID. All right, here we go. We have ready to assign. We have uncategorized. That's the ID we want. Let's copy that. And let's try this ID now and see if it makes a difference. And we'll run that. Okay, yeah, it just automatically applies. Okay, cool. We don't need to worry about that. And we'll reject that. Great. Now, when we look at the YNAB or the Splitwise API, we need to resolve. So if you guys saw, I shouldn't have deleted those transactions. One thing we need to get is we need to fill out the payee here. So when we refresh this, the payee is absent. This should be under's name. I can delete this because this is like, we want this to be saying that I owe unders $8 here and unders owes me $96 here. So we need to resolve the other Splitwise person's name, which I want data grip, by their Splitwise user ID, which we should have that here. Yeah, first name, last name. So we can grab that. To shake lullabies. All right. To start, I'm only going to support 2 people because that's my use case, but in the future we can expand this to support multiple people. So we found my user ID, right? And let's just say like, we'll do if expense dot users dot length is greater than 2. We're going to return yield star effect dot fail, and we'll just say this is going to be a new error for now. We'll type this then, more than 2 splits in Splitwise to do make a better error. So then we can do, maybe the better thing to do here is const users by ID. And we'll do object.groupBy. And we'll pass in expense.users. And this takes a function, and this will be a user. And then we'll do user dot user ID. And that should give us, yep, that's exactly what we're looking for. And then this from nullable. Is that what we want to do? Maybe that's not what we want to do. We'll do r dot, do we have a partition? Oh, we do. We can get a left and a right. Can I do that? Yeah, we'll do a partition on expense.users. And then this will be a function user, and we'll just return user for now. This probably needs to return a sum. God, TypeScript. It's a Boolean. True. Yeah, okay. So we'll say user.userID is going to equal my user ID, right? We'll do that. And this will get this will be the payee, or this will be current user, other user, right? There should be a user there. Oh, it's an array. Wait, how does array.partition work? Is there a partition map? Let's go. We'll return effect.either self effect. No, I want to do either. Whoa, my code actions changed. That's different. At least they'll get resolved then. Rude. Love tech support. Let's see here. Either dot left.
Functions describe the world.
Right. We'll do user. Otherwise, we'll do either dot left user. So now we should have the current user, and no, what? What does it? I thought this would. I guess I want to reduce. Oh, I see. It would be like this. User And then this would be like other user. Right? Yeah. Then the I don't even really think I need to partition map. I think I just need to partition, right? Yeah, that's gonna be fine. And then we can do the payee, which will be payee name, and this will be a little string concat of other user dot. We'll just say this is the payee. We'll come in here and we'll say payee dot first name. Oh my lord. User dot first name, and then we'll do a little another action here, and we'll say payee. We can do one of these, and we'll say oh god, what is happening? Or we'll just stick in an unknown. And same thing here, not quite. We'll do payee.user.last name. Or undefined. And that should work now. And if we run this, we should see, let me delete these two. The payee is Dylan Mulroy. That's not what I would have expected. And we can just do, rather than doing more logic, we can just trim this. And that should actually create the split, right? Logic is wrong because the payee should be unders. All right, there's the split correctly, but my partition didn't work correctly. Because right, when we partition, it's gonna separate it into, right, this is gonna be right and left. Right is the true value. Yeah. So now I'll save, run. Unders undefined. RIP. Correct. I keep making him pay for gas and drinks. It's true. We can just do payee name is going to equal option dot from nullable, and we'll get payee first name. Is first name one word? No, that is right. So we come in here and we'll say payee. Actually, is it the user that's... Let's just say we do payee.user, and we'll yield that. So that will return a not found, and that will give us a for sure value. Yeah, that does get our first name. And then we'll just say dot pipe. Actually, option dot get or else, and we'll just do unknown. This should never happen. Why does get or else take a... Oh, get or else takes a thunk. Okay, that's fine. We'll make this a thunk. Wait, why is this saying it's undefined? Sure, that's fine. And then we'll do the same thing. And then we'll do last name, right? And we'll just put this in a function. And rather than unwrapping here, we'll just do an empty string. In fact, there's an easier way to do this. We don't need to do all this. What am I doing, chat? Being stupid. I'm overcomplicating this. Pay.user.first name or unknown. It's the same exact thing. We don't need an option. We'll do change it and last name, empty string. It's payee name is going to equal this. Payee first name, space, payee last name. Why isn't... Oh. And then we'll trim on that. Now we have the payee name, and that works much better. There we go. Make sure that works. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. How do you type JK if you want to? Is there a toggle key for the functionality? What do you mean by that? How do you type JK if you want to? Like if I'm in insert mode, I can type. If I want to type J back to back, I have to go slower because JJ is my exit from normal mode or insert mode. Right? When I'm insert mode, like I can, if I press JJ twice, it kicks me out of insert mode. So right now, like in normal mode, I don't get any text, right? That kicks me into insert mode. So when I'm in insert mode, I can just type J, K, JK, 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 JK. And if I press JJ quick, it kicks me out of insert mode, and now I'm in normal mode and I can navigate. Looks good.
Is that too much? I have that option too. Hold on.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. No problem, Drew. Thank you for the follow, by the way.
Describe the world.
What?
I said, oh, you gotta follow.
Gotta follow. Alright, in fact, we can just die here.
Oh. That's aggressive.
All right. How is Justine going to handle your modeling career once you guys are hitched?
It's rough, honestly. Wait, could I ask a favor?
What?
Will you clip that, or I can't see it? You have too much hair and too big of a sweater.
There you go.
Thank you. So this looks better, maybe?
Yeah.
I should wear different shoes.
I think that's fine.
You think it's okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna shove the little socks down. Go like this?
Yep, looks good.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep.
It's rainy and gross, so I didn't want something that would touch the ground.
Huh?
It's rainy and gross out, so I didn't want anything that would touch the ground.
Nice.
I'm gonna go make you a coffee and then I have to join
Cool.
you.
Thanks. All right. So the next bit is we get the pay name right. We need to handle this updated. Yeah, this is where we need to start persisting things to the database, right? So we're gonna eventually move all this stuff out into different files, but it's just convenient for now to operate and write all our code in here. What was my logic here before? When we get a notification, we should ack it. That way we don't reprocess the same notifications twice. So when we get notifications, where is this at? Get notifications. Yeah, we got IDs here. And does this have updated after? Can I get a notification by ID? Oh no. I don't know if I can. That doesn't look like that's an API. Splitwise.com. But we're inserting. Yeah, we don't. All right, I think we need to persist our notifications to Dynamo because we're gonna use that. We need to figure out, like, every time the sync runs, we need to figure out, like, what is the last notification we processed, and then we need to look at the timestamp of that notification. And the get notifications API has this updated after. So, like, let's say, you know, like this gas bill that I entered into the budget is the last thing we process, and it's a created expense. That's what type 0 is. We will look at Dynamo. We'll get our last processed notification. We'll see that this is this created at. Actually, let's just pretend like right here, right? Beers at the Prancing Pony. Let's pretend this was the last thing I processed. 1214. If we put in this, we should only get one notification. Updated after. Do we just have to do +1? We do. That's so annoying. It's inclusive. It's so stupid. Oh, that's so stupid. That's fine though. I wonder if they note that. If provide returns only notifications after. After. Wrong. 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 Chat, I can't win with API documentation on this freaking stream. I just can't. I can't do it. Why can't people be normal? What happens if I do? I bet it's inconsistent. I bet this one we'll get like no results. Okay, at least it's consistent, it seems. So we know we can just like increment this by a second, which is so stupid. Or we can drop the Z. That seems to work. If we go 5. Oh, nope, it needs the Z. Okay. Obnoxious. All right. We need to persist notifications. So let's go make a Dynamo thing for that. And start cleaning this up. Let's go to ElectroDB and let me see what my splitwise expense looks like. We probably we're probably gonna want a third GSI. Because I want to be able to look up an expense by notification ID. Does that make sense? All right. I think we probably will want a third GSI. I think all of these are going to be important access patterns. Is this the primary? Do we want the sort key? Is there anywhere else we could put this? Thanks.
I'm gonna shut your door.
Well, if we have a notification ID, we can probably have the expense ID, right? So we probably can just use that index. So we don't need that other index, right? And what we say type is, credit debit. Let's have like a, we'll have a related notifications maybe. Related notification IDs. And this will be a type of list. And what is the correct? Items is going to be a type of number. This will be required. But this will not. Images. Yak is incredible. Yak is the best REST client I've ever used. It's made by the guy that made Insomnia.
Functions describe
And he took
the
all his knowledge. He sold
world.
Insomnia to Kong, right? I think to Kong. And then he took all his knowledge and is now building it again. And it's I love Yak. He listens to feedback. Like, you can just give feedback and it's actually heard. I pay for Yak, and I also sponsor Greg on GitHub because I think what he's doing is great. I cannot speak highly enough. I would love to hire Greg, to be honest. He is such a talent. I admire him a lot as a dev. All right. So let's create a new entity, and this will be Splitwise notification. And in here, let's go copy what we had in here just to get some boilerplate. And paste that in. This will be E, change to E, that'll be notification. This is going to be notification. Version 1, budget sync ID. It will have a related expense ID. The type is going to be, I think we have a type for this already, right? We had Splitwise schemas. We want an expense type. Didn't we do that? Yeah, here it is. Paste that in, import that. We don't have the notification. What is on the notification model? Get rid of that. User, we don't need that. Don't need that, don't need that, don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. Where's the notification? Here we go. Created at, created by. That's an interesting. We'll say created by is a good. Created by user ID. And this will be, we can copy these right here. We don't need a description. That's not going to be on there. Will this have a group ID? Possibly. We can give it a group ID. We can't give it a group ID. We'll have a group ID by this point. So let's do that there. I don't know what this source is. Type ID. Let me go look at this payload again. Source expense type. Yeah. We already know we're only going to get that. How is this content encoded? This is a strange encoding. If I go in here and I do decode URI and we paste that in, really I just want that. Do we get the right string? Okay. Let's strip. We can probably get AI to write a function for us quick. In fact, let's just v0. Might be easier to iterate on getting an actual script here. Write a function to decode this string and remove HTML tags. Whoops, it's not quite what we want. Write a TS function. Sure. See you, Anders. What up, Ross? Oh, Ross, your feedback from yesterday about, what was the feedback about? One second. I'm going to remember. I'm going to go find it because I got an answer for you. Rochelle should have a count-wide firewall setting so I can block Cloud and OpenAI from terrorizing me. It's coming soon. That feature's coming soon. It's either being actively worked on or being beta tested. So you will have that very, very soon. Now write, no, this is fine. We'll come over here and we'll add that to, we'll add that in here, actually. We'll make it part of the transformation process. Decode and strip HTML. I want to do one other thing yet. Please add comments to this explaining each part of each regex. Add comments and a JS doc. Now let's say this will be fine. Perfect. Whenever I have AI generate regexes for me, I have it do this, And I think this is so helpful. And in fact, anytime you do a regex in code, I think this is just nice to do in general for your coworkers, because not everyone is super familiar with regex, and they can be complicated beasts. Decode and strip. We think. We'll change this a little bit because I would rather do it like this. Like that. And then this will get, if you do it this way and you do something like this, oops. And you come down here then. Wait, I think I fucked this up. You take that, we put it there, and then we go here. We make this a normal JS doc thing. We come down, Control V, go down, change, put a star there, up, star slash. If we do it this way, now we get hover docs on this thing, right? If I look at that, now we get hover docs on that variable. The only thing I don't like about V0 is that sometimes parts of the chat history disappear. When that happens, make sure you report feedback or like a thumbs down, or I don't remember what the things are. There's a Slack channel that feedback goes directly to. So like all feedback for V0 is like actually seen. La la. La oui oui.
Functions describe the world.
There we go. All right, so we got that, and now we can strip. We can strip from our notifications up here. Where is the notification schema? Notification schema, notification API on here. We're going to add a right here. We're going to pipe schema.transform. Or what is the best way to do this? We'll say notification content schema is going to equal schema.transform, and transform takes a 2. It's going to go to a schema.string from a string. Const do that, and then we need this guy. We need strict will be true, and then encode and decode. In fact, we don't even need to decode. Encode will fail. This is going to, this should actually be transform or fail. And encoding is just not going to be supported. We'll just say we'll return parse result dot fail, and this is going to be a new parse result dot parse error. I don't know how this works. How did I do this before? Let's see here, effect docs. And we want to go to schema, transformations. Where is the one-way forbidden encoding? This is exactly what we want. Parse result dot forbidden. Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna copy this as a example quick. Come over here. Throw that there. Do you see that? We need the AST. So this will be decoded. Options, and this will be the AST. This will be parse result dot fail, parse result dot forbidden. And then this takes the AST, the decoded, and then an error message. Encoding, notification, content, is forbidden. And then down here, this will be encoded, and we will say return, what is that function we just wrote? This guy, decode and strip HTML. Return parse result dot succeed, and we'll throw that in encoded. Boom. Now our deserialization process, when we get the JSON, will do that for us, which is super nice. We can take this and we can say, hello, DMM Mulroy. How you doing? I hope everything is fine. By the way, did you change your keyboard? Long time don't come here. I did. I started using a split keyboard, a Voyager. My old keyboard, my Thocky boy, is up there on my shelf. Notification, content schema. Great. All right, so now we have that content, which is nice. So we should automatically get that parsed now for us, which is great. And let's see, we'll add content. Let's move that up. It's going to be for an expense. And we'll have created by user, group ID, and we'll have content, which will be a type that is a string. Required is true. Maybe it's not true. We don't need paid by user. We don't need paid share. We don't need that. We don't need that. That won't be there. That won't be there. We have that. Do we need a sort key on? We might. Budget sync account ID. That might not be the... One of the dogs is ringing the bells, chat. I gotta go let the dogs out. I'll be right back. I keep that on my webcam at all times. Oh, we got a Britney Spears song coming. Let's go. All right, so we just got that. We're designing this. We want to be able to get all notifications. They're partitioned on a budget sync. That seems correct. And then what is the next thing we would want to partition on? We probably would regularly want to possibly by expense ID. No, group ID. Yeah, group ID seems like the next most reasonable thing that we would want to filter on. So let's change our sort key here. This would be group ID. And then we could have, well, maybe we do it that way. That seems more reasonable. Yeah, and then we could filter in memory if we really needed to, because we can filter it down by the group ID. Although I feel like budget sync account ID is likely a proxy, at least in most instances for group ID. That's probably like isomorphic basically. Let's see here. 649 created by. How am I going to be looking this up most often? By date. Date is going to be the thing that's most important. Group, yeah. Group then created at. Yeah, that's what we want. Do we need a second index here? That's not necessarily, I was kind of wrong. That's not necessarily isomorphic. We probably do want by expense ID. That is probably a good one, because then we could get expense ID, and then we can get all the notifications for a given expense. We probably don't need that in there, but we could do created at SK, and we could sort that way. And then we could do a second. No. Yeah, we'll just do that. That's a decent second index. I think I want to rename this transactions to just budget sync account. And we'll come over here and we'll update our other collections to cluster around that. Change that. Do the same thing over here. We just did that one. Sync transaction down to the main index that's clustered on transactions. This will be that budget sync account. And come down here. We'll do the same thing on this budget sync account. Great. Now everything is clustered around the budget sync account ID. That's great. That's good there. let's jump over back to our code now that we have this entity. We should add this to our service. So we're going to come down here, and this is going to have a splitwise notification, and this will be a type of splitwise notification entity, right? Come down here, we add that. This will be notification. That's capital. Okay, we got our service there. Excellent. Hot take, string enums in TS are fine. You mean string literal unions? Is that what you mean? I think string literal unions are fine. They're great. They're good DX. They can be used as discriminators. Oh, we could drop that guy in, nah, it's fine. So in here, where's our sync? This guy's the import one, right? Theoretically, we should be able to, so what do we need to do when we sync an expense? Let's write out like this actual like algorithm, right? So for a created expense, we create a synced transaction. We one, create a sync transaction. Two, create a YNAB transaction. I wonder if we should process one notification at a time. So it's going to be like process or do we want it to get to that point? What information do we want when we get this synced? Yeah, no, we don't. We'll create the notifications. Although it would be nice to do that all in one go, right? Create create DynamoDB entities for the splitwise notification. Notification splitwise expense synced transaction YNAB transaction two is just like update YNAB, right? That's it. Create a YNAB. Let's just say post YNAB transaction. 3 commit DynamoDB entities. I wonder if we should yeah, we should do the notifications out of band, and we can treat it almost like a queue, right? We can treat it almost like the job processor we have in R10, where we have a status on the notification ID. Yeah, I'm liking this. Okay, so the flow is this thing's running on a cron. We hit the cron runs. we go and look at what the most recent how do we want to do that actually? It runs, we get the notifications, we look for the most recent notification that was processed from our database. We select notifications from Splitwise after that. We go through those and we create it's difficult because we need like a way to say we need like a dead letter queue for failed unprocessed notifications. Maybe we just write a secondary cron that goes through and processes notifications that hit errors. How do we want that to work? Let's add a status here. And this is going to be like that. We're going to do this. This is going to be it's going to be like new or locked or completed or error, right? And then we can have like a janitor job come clean up. We'll basically do the same janitor job we have in R10, right? If we look at our janitor over here, the janitor, this thing runs every, 5 minutes, and it gets the stale jobs, right? And the way that looks like is we select from our job queue table where locked at is null, and the current time is greater than the created at timestamp plus a minute. So we give a minute to process any given. Yeah, we're going to do something similar to this. That way we never miss a notification, because like the thing that I was struggling with there for a second is because we're going to be using the updated timestamp to fetch new notifications. It's possible that a previous notification errored and we still have to process it, but we would never pick that up again if we're just going based off of timestamps moving forward. The structs from effect, the renaming is nice. Yeah, yep. So let's go back over here and yeah, that's how we'll do that. I like that. That gives us a way to retry basically from like a dead letter queue. Okay. Where's that type I was writing sync input? This is going to need a little bit more. What do we need to actually... How do we want this to work? I think I want to start now that we have like a bunch of this code written and prototyped out, I'm gonna clean up and start in a new file to we'll call this budget sync. And we'll come in here and we'll make a new just gonna call this budget sync.ts. And this is going to be an effect service that we can just like copy from like here, right? We'll just come make a tag, do something like this. We'll grab you, yoink, paste. And we'll grab how we did this because I like this pattern. I think this is a useful pattern. And then we'll just say this is going to be, we can get rid of this. And then we'll get rid of this. And we'll say to do is to do. And we can import config. And then we can get rid of this, right? Delete that, remove this, and this will be to do, import that, import that, import that, comment that, we can comment this.
I'm stealing your jacket.
What?
This is my jacket for the day.
You stealing my formidable jacket?
Yep.
Perf.
It's rainy, it's gross, and I need a rain jacket. That'd be a great gift.
What?
That'd be a great gift.
A jacket?
A rain jacket, specifically.
Okay.
I don't have one of those. Is this a good look?
Yeah. Great look.
Should I do Winnie's stuff before I go?
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh. I need to grab a glove. Cause Winnie, you're icky.
Speed budget sync. Do that. All right, there you go. So we're gonna have a budget sync service that is going to take this is going to be sync, and sync is going to take, we'll want to sync for a budget account ID, right? So we'll get a budget sync.
Winnie, sit. Stop.
Budget sync
Can you roll over?
account ID. It's a string.
Help.
Yep. 1 second, chat. Gotta help with the dog quick. Took care of some skin stuff. Alright, I'm back. Poor Miss Winnie has a skin condition going on, and then we gotta put ointment on her, and she hates it. Alright. So when we get this, we are going to return an effect of an effect. Oh, that's just a type. Let's just do unknown for now. Yeah. And the thing we want it to return we want to report, basically, right? We want like this type sync report or output. Let's just call it output for now. It's going to equal a read-only struct that has the budget sync account ID on it. And that will be a string. And then we want a list of synced transaction. We'll call it budget sync transaction IDs, and this will be that. We'll probably make branded types for this at some point. Let's just write a note there to do brand IDs. Budget sync transaction IDs. Failed splitwise notification IDs. And we'll do like we'll add a duration. Do we have like a duration? Ooh, we do. Nice. In fact, I don't think I care about duration. We can get that from spans. Is there anything else important that we would care about from the result of... I think that's pretty good.
Functions describe.
So we'll come here and we'll say we'll get a sync output. And we'll preemptively create a error type for the sync that will just union everything together for. In fact, we don't even need to do that. We'll just say this is going to be type sync error. Type sync error, and this will just be a default error right now. I have an error. Wow, what the fuck am I doing? Sync error. Thank you for the follow, Abel. I'm sure I missed a bunch of people. I haven't been paying close attention to my activity feed. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow, Kenneth and Taco Paps. And we got Drewed earlier. Thank you, y'all. I appreciate all of you choosing to spend your time and hang out here. Hopefully everyone's got some interesting work to work on today. All right, so this is going to return sync output, and this will be a sync error. And we come down here. What does this thing need to run? I don't think it really has default config, so we'll start that out for now. When we make this, let's go ahead and write our sync function down here. So function sync is going to take, what do we call that up there? It's just going to take a budget sync account ID, right? Budget sync account ID string, and we'll drop right into a effect gen And we need to fetch. That's one thing we need. We need a new entity, right? In our database, we need a budget sync account .ts. Grab that. Let's just grab the notifications, probably the slimmest. So let's grab that, and we'll go here, paste that in. Let's see here. This will be budget sync account entity budget sync account, and we'll just say this is going to have an ID. We don't need any of this. We do want that created at, updated at, budget sync account, and it's going to be on the budget sync account, and this will just be on ID. I don't know what I want the sort keys to be yet, so we'll just do that for now. What does this need on it? This is going to need things like, if we go back to our main, the information we need to process is probably going to need things like this, right? So a budget sync account is going to need, it's going to have a splitwise group ID. And we can just grab this. This is actually a number because splitwise is silly. It's going to need a splitwise user ID. It's going to need a YNAB budget ID. You can just paste that. This will be YNAB budget ID. This is a string. Do that. YNAB account ID. Call this splitwise account. That's fine. We can get first name, and we can just copy this, whatever, we'll just do type is string, and required is true. In fact, we don't even need that, right? I think that's all we need on this account. Wait, did you paint your wall a different color? I painted my wall like last summer. It's been a while. Okay, so let's go back to in here, down in sync. We're going to get our ElectroDB service, which is ElectroDB service. What do we call this thing? ElectroDB. So we'll say const db equals yield star ElectroDB. In fact, we should really I don't like, in my main application code, I don't like using this use function. I like hiding that under the covers for clients and exposing effect APIs instead. So we're gonna write our own little helpers here. This is just gonna be this for now. I don't even, oh my god, why can't I? Thank you. And we'll say, get rid of all this, get rid of this, right? And then we're gonna come in here and we'll say, we're gonna have a function. We need to yield const db is going to be yield star electro-db, right? We get that. And then we want a function for const get budget sync account by ID. And this is going to take a budget sync account ID, budget sync account ID, which will be a string, and we're going to return an effect function star that, and in here we'll use our client. We'll say const, let's say underscore db.use. This is a function that gets our client, and we're gonna do this. Now we're in async promise land. So what use does, chat, is it lets me use the underlying async or promise based client, and it will automatically wrap the result in a effect for me. So we can come in here and we can say client dot entities dot. Did I not add that to my service? One second, we gotta come in here. Yeah, we need to do need budget sync account, and it's gonna be type of budget sync account entity. Then we come down here and we do the same thing. This will be budget sync account entity. What did I do wrong? Oh, I see. Capital. Type void is not. Oh, I'm in the same file. Yeah, sure. So now we should have budget sync account on there, and we should be able to get ID, and this will be budget sync account ID dot go. Why? I hate TypeScript, dude. TypeScript's so bad at giving good error message. ID does not. I might have designed my entity wrong. The partition key. There. Yeah, we just want direct lookup on that. There we go. Yeah, that fixed it. There we go. So that should get us, if I return that, we should hopefully get a, look at that, chat. Data. we yield that. I might go a little bit longer this morning. Let me check my calendar. Yeah, we can go a little bit longer, and doesn't look like. Let me check my help queue. Okay. Yeah, I can go a couple extra minutes here to wrap up some of this stuff. Federico said, yesterday I did a deep dive into YNAB, and oh man, I can understand why you love it. They cover a lot of use cases that I never thought to, from split transactions like Amazon order that needs to be split cash when line amounts, money reconciliation. Thank you so much for letting me know about this service. It's incredible. Dude, it has genuinely changed my life. It's changed I've helped my sister get out of debt with it. I've helped my mom get out of debt with it. One of my second cousins. Obviously, Justine and I both use it. Like, it is without a doubt the most important tool that I use, like, in my life. Mr. Togglebit, thank you for the raid. Chat, we're going for a couple more minutes here. We are working on writing a tool that's syncs transactions between a tool called Splitwise, which Splitwise is a tool that lets you basically split expenses with other people. So like you can see here, I have this Splitwise group where me and my buddy Unders, we got beers at the Prancing Pony, and then we have our gas bill. And you can see I paid the gas bill. Unders owes me $96 for that. Unders paid for beers at the pub. I owe him $8. And then the tool I use for budgeting is called YNAB. And what we do is, this is like an envelope system. So zero-based budgeting envelope system. We have this Splitwise account, and it will come in here and it will basically sync those transactions to here. In fact, I think I might be able to do this if I didn't break anything. Nope, I broke things. But what will happen is it will sync these two guys over to this budget and categorize everything. And we're going to tie in some like AI for proper categorization. And we're using DynamoDB for our database. Yeah, super cool stuff. And right now we are working on just actually like cleaning up our MVP since we had it working. Valid key. Following composite attribute index were described. PK, expense ID. I wish this showed me which model this was on. Not included in the model's attributes. I bet that's on our budget sync account. Did we forget to yep. We forgot to delete this index. All right, there we go. In fact, this might actually work now. Nope. Validation error. Is this still coming from Electro? Partition key, composite attribute. Validation while joining splitwise expense. Provided for index. Did not match established composite attribute ID on established. Composite attributes. Match. Oh. Right. That's an annoying problem. So we need our sort keys to be the same for everything in this collection. Is that the problem? Composite attribute definitions. Does that have to match for... Is it just that the names have to be the same? Okay, that was it. So check this out, chat. We have we have that should have synced stuff. So if we look there, boom, it just synced over all the things. You may be wondering why there's doubles here. It's because one of these is an update to the transaction, which we don't have working yet. But if you were to look at the I don't know what am I saying here? Yeah, we just don't have updates working yet, but it at least is posting and syncing them. So this is an interesting dilemma here. I would like to do this, and we'll make that a do that, and let's get the ElectroDB docs up quick. ElectroDB attributes. We want virtual. Creating virtual attributes. Transformed and retrieval and not persisted. So display price. Yeah. All right. So we want to make budget sync ID a virtual one. So it's going to watch on ID, and it's going to, we don't even need to worry about that. Let's say set is going to be undefined. Get is going to, I don't know what the first key is there, but this will be ID, and we will just return ID. So that's now a virtual field. That gets us what we want. Yeah. Nice. Hopefully that works. Yeah, it does. Great. All right, so let's jump back over to our sync. Now that we can retrieve an account, right? We'll come over here, and in budget sync, we get this, and we'll say, or no, we need to go to our ElectroDB service. We didn't finish that, unless we did. It's annoying that I can't just make that ID. You know what? We will do, we're gonna do, we're gonna get rid of this. Actually, we're gonna copy this. Indexes, clustered index. And we'll yoink that. We'll put that up, and then this is not going to be part of a collection, and this will be just ID. That way we can query by that way. What's this subset about? Oh, right. Oh my God. Don't you want to feel my bones? There we go. So now we can flip-flop this. And this can be ID again. Right? Oh, come on. Why? PK ID. Budget sync account. Dot get. And this should just need an ID and a, why does it need a budget sync account ID? It shouldn't. What am I doing wrong here? Oh, right. This needs to be index GSI1. Now this should have ID. Yeah, there we go. I'm really... I don't know if that will work. This feels like it's not going to work. Yeah. There's got to be a way around this. Whatever. Fuck it. We'll do what we did before. It's just so annoying. It's so annoying. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do they all have to be on the same GSI? I would assume so. All right, we'll deal with that problem in a minute. All right, let's just get this thing implemented and then we'll wrap up here. And we'll say, const, we'll say, what do we want to say here? Return object option. We'll use an option here. This is pretty good. Getting an option. Where's effect? Let's move that up here. We'll import option, and then we'll come back down and we'll say option.from nullable data. And this is going to return a this will be get budget by ID, get budget sync account by ID, which is going to be you, and that will return an effect where we get a we need the type quick. How do we derive the type? TypeScript. Query. Yeah, we want query response, I guess. So it'd be type underscore equals query response of type of Splitwise or budget sync account entity, and then this will have data on it, and that should be our user. Nope, that's not it. Right? If I have a declare const x is a x, what does this have on it? It's an array. Yeah, that's not right. That's not right. Entity item. Entity item, that's what we want. And then we don't need data. And then an x should have on it x dots, but yeah, that's what we want. X dot ID. Great. That's exactly what we want. This will be a budget sync account, right? And we'll just call it an entity. We can probably be ready to do locate with entity def. And then this thing is also going to return a ElectroDB client error. This is actually an option, right? Option.option, because we might not find it. And then we'll have that. And then here we can do a dot pipe with instrumentation, and this will be budget sync electro db dot get budget sync account by ID. And what else do we want on this thing? We want to annotate. We can have annotate spans with, and we'll put the budget sync account ID on there. And let's actually make that like this. Budget sync and we'll replace that there like that. Budget sync account.id. That will let us nest things better and searching in our span and tracing tooling. Do we want to ever retry on this? Probably not. I think that's probably good there. But we do need to provide, after this, we'll do effect.provide service. Provide service, and we're going to provide it a ElectroDB instance, and that will be the DB. And this should now be a perfect. That's exactly what we want, chat. We come down here, we paste that in. Nice. So now in like, if we had like a main function, which we'll work on tomorrow, like let's say this is our just program, right? You can come in here, effect.gen, function, star, and we can say, give me my just budget sync service, right? Budget sync, and we'll yield star budget sync. We'll get that. And then we can do budget sync dot, oh, what is this thing? Budget sync ElectroDB, right? Sorry. This will be DB, right? And then we can do DB, and we have a query on it. The only thing this can do is get a budget sync account by ID. And, you know, you just pass in an ID. Const x equals this. We yield star. This will be an option, right? And then we could just like dot pipe effect.flatten. And x should be our, yeah, that removes it from the option. Cool. So we have a way to do that now. So let's go back to our, so the last thing we're gonna do before I wrap up here is in our actual service, in sync, rather than bringing in ElectroDB, right? We can now bring in our budget sync ElectroDB, and we can say const budget sync account is going to equal yield star db dot get budget sync by ID. We pass in the budget sync ID. We now have this, although this is hideous. I like need to fix this. Like that's bad, that type inference. I thought this would work. So we're just gonna grab this, gonna go around that. And we'll say this is going to be, paste that, and we'll say read only. Do that. And now if we go back, there we go. We have an option, right? And if we can pipe option, I think we can do effect.flatten, right? That should remove it. Yeah, there we go. And that should make it fail with a no such element exception. So flatten just converted that option into either the real value or a no such element. All right, chat, I think that's a good place to wrap up. We organized, we added some new entities. Let's see what we wrote today. Git status. We wrote a lot of code this morning. Git diff origin / main. Yeah, we were very productive this morning. We have syncing working. Sweet. Whip on sync, yeah. Git push. Yes, let's go, Kyle. 2025 Oscar World Driver Champion. All right, let's find somebody to raid. And we'll be back tomorrow. Oh, we're raiding Jack. He's working on the Gleam compiler in Rust. I love Jack. He's one of the best educators of all time. Go show Jack some love, chat.